Alright, welcome back to part 2. Make sure this is loud enough here. In the interest of time, we're going to fast forward a bit.
How wonderful.
15 seconds left. And I'm going to leave it here to point something out.
Gaze into the iris.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, so I don't know if I get a good view here, but you are absolutely in the wrong place. and this is just part of learning and things that you learn as you move up. So the problem with being right here where you're at this moment is if a monkey dives in, a diva dives in, Genji, Tracer, whatever, you are done. You are the most immobile character in the game, at least at that HP level, and you are absolutely done if they come in. So where you want to be, or where I would suggest you be, is up here, okay, on the middle of those stairs, because right here is a mini health pack. You can see everything coming from this direction, you can see everything coming from this direction, and you can see everything coming above in Discord, all that. And also, you obviously can see anything coming down the middle if you peek a little bit. So, if you basically come up here and peek a little bit. So this is where I would suggest. Now that's me, that's where I play. That doesn't mean that you have to play there. You can, if you want, you can play, up here with the rest of your team. You can play, and I can't highlight it, but it's behind you upstairs, on the left where usually Soldier likes to hide out. So just anywhere but right here. This is the kill box. You do not ever want to be right here starting out as Zen. And I think we see that here in a minute, that I think you get run over pretty easily. You especially do not want to be peeking like that. If they come around the corner, you are done for. Okay, so there's Sephara.
Oh, they have a bastion.
Okay, so they're coming upper right. 3 of your team are wiped. If that were a better diva, you would have been gone, because a better diva is going to come in with her missiles. Maybe this is before the missiles were added, but I think this is after, because I remember the new ticker on the point. But they would have come in, missiles, shooting, melee, you're dead instantly. And there you're dead. So that isn't to say you might never not die. I mean, obviously Zen is going to die. You're just trying to put yourself in the position where you're going to die the least. And you put yourself in the position where you're going to die the most. So just keep in mind with him, you want to be almost out of sight, but to where you can see everything, if that makes any sense. So you're giving yourself the least amount of exposure so that you can hopefully stay alive longer. Like I said, unless in the earlier video, unless there's flankers, and then you're going to have to stay closer to your team, unless you're very good at headshotting Tracer and Genji and all of them. You want that Discord on that Bastion so your team can wipe it out immediately. Behind you is Junkrat. So that was one of those audio cues I was talking about. You could hear fire in the hole coming behind you. And so you want to turn around immediately. Now, you pretty much died instantly, so I don't know what, if anything, you might have been able to do. But he was probably walking around. I didn't pick it up, but just use that audio when you can. You should not be up here. Okay, so I know I said it's kind of contradictory. You said, or I said, stay as minimal as possible. But the problem with coming up here is your entire team is not up here. Your entire team is down here. I saw a Soldier and somebody else down there. I think a diva and possibly somebody else. So you being up here, there is nobody over here for you to do anything to. So what you're going to end up having to do, and what you do, is look over the corner here and see people, but then you get kind of wiped out immediately, if I remember correctly. Okay, so just like I said, especially keep in mind the team comp too. So knowing that they have a Farah, however you want to pronounce it, you want to also try and keep in cover when possible.
Payload has reached the
Like I said, not terrible. You know, just these are just little things. So if you add enough little things together, then that's when you move up, you know, to the next level. It's not these massive shifts usually. Yeah, so this is good. I have no issue with this. You know, you're sticking with your team, discording targets. You guys are wiping them out. Nope. See, that's right there. I was gonna say you might want to stay a little bit safer, but the other team was wiped, so you're going after their bastion now. Junkrat's up top. I noticed that before, but I couldn't hear it this time. But he came in that upper left window. Again, you know, with the Transcendence, might have been a little premature right there, but we'll see. Nope. So how great would Transcendence have been right there? You would have saved yourself and your two other teammates. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with using it when your team is low on health, if your entire team's low on health, because that's the quickest way to bring them up. But ideally, with the Transcendence, you want to hold it for one of those team wipe ults. You know, a Barrage, Blade, a Grav, combination of any of those. That's going to help you to win more games. This is suicide. This is absolute suicide. You should have died right there. I don't know why you went in there to do that. I mean, I know why, because you really wanted to kill them, but that was suicide. You got lucky, but that stuff does not fly. In gold, even gold, that stuff does not fly. Because people are going to have better aim than that Bastion did. And Mercy's probably going to pull out her pistol. That's good. He looked up. Looking up is something people don't do enough in Overwatch, so it's really good. Now wait, whoa. See? I saw that like 2 seconds before you stepped into it. Let's see if we can go back not too far here. Right there. You see it? Trap is right there. So I actually saw that the first time I watched this video, and I was like, oh no. And then a second later you're in it. And then, if I remember right, Genji and Junkrat kind of have their way with you. So it's hard to see those traps, and I miss them a lot too, especially when I'm playing a tank. But you know, try and be aware when you can. You know, especially when it's a bad trap placement like that, you should usually be able to see them. Good discords, as usual. Good discords. Only comment on discords is sometimes you switch them around really fast, and I don't know, you know, if this is the case or not. Your team, you might want to give your team a chance to kill whatever you have discord before you switch it off. But I've noticed a couple times where I was going to make that comment and it really didn't matter because they weren't shooting at it anyways. But just be conscious of that and make sure that you keep it on until they die, if it's at all possible. Good target. You have good target prioritization, I think. Going after the right targets. The jumping baby diva. Popped it too early. It worked out for you in that case, I think, but that was too early. Your team was not low. If you died, it's not a big deal because the other team is not there. You know, you could have just respawned and come back. And that's another thing, and I'll pause it here for a second to point this out. Something that I notice, you know, probably low plat and below, is people don't pay attention to the kill feed, or pay attention to, you know, basically how many people they have versus how many people the other team has. And then high plat and below, don't pay attention to the enemy ult situations. You always want to be, especially as Zen, like I said, you get kind of this back or front seat view, back seat view, however you want to view it, of what the ult situation is, who's doing what and when. So you want to make sure that that you call those things out. If you know Graf's about to come in, Barrage is about to come in, stuff like that. So you just killed the Junkrat. He probably had Tire, was close to Tire. Farah's coming back in with Barrage. I don't know the other Diva. I think just used her bomb a minute ago, so she probably doesn't have it. But honestly, I don't pay that much attention to Diva bombs as Zen, because I can't do anything about them. If you're Lucio, you might be able to do a little bit about it.
60 seconds remaining.
Love where you're at. You're behind the shield, behind the payload. You can see everything. Great positioning. Oh. Why? I don't know if he still would have lived, but you should have orbed your Junkrat right there. There's that Barrage. Fortunately, she didn't get anybody, or she only got Soldier. There's a Genji Blade, so that's where you want your trans for. Fortunately, he's not good. And then you blow it after they just blew 2 ults, which... And I think you guys secure it right here. There's that Junkrat Tire. All right, so I'm going to turn the audio down, let this keep going. So if I could make any main comment to you about how to change your gameplay, it would be pay way more attention to when you pop your trans. That's what's going to help you move up. That's what's going to keep your team alive. You're going to win more team fights, and if you win more team fights, you're going to win more games. So that's huge. And then the little things, like I said, of making sure you can always see your team, making sure that you're not in the wrong place, like the kill box that I showed you. You just don't want to be in some place where somebody can easily jump in and get to you. Somebody's always going to have the option of killing you, but you don't want to make it easy for them. So try and keep, like on Numbani, don't sit in the middle there. On Ilios, on that one map, with the middle sunken area, don't sit in the bottom there, stuff like that. So don't make it easy to get killed. But, and make sure and protect your divers. That's the main function of the Zen heal, is to make sure your stuff like your Winston and so on don't die. So in general, dude, I think you're good. I think that you play a good Zen. I don't think that anything that you do outside of your Transcendence, I don't think anything you do is catastrophic. I think your Transcendence is kind of catastrophic. We saw every single situation we saw with your Transcendence. You could have had it for an ult, but you didn't. And since you're in silver, like I said, it's not that big of a deal because the Genji is not killing anything. The Pharah, she killed a couple, but your team was able to recover. But and once you get to those higher ranks, that's when you really need to hold on to it. Not hold on to it forever, but hold on to it for the situation. I've had a Zarya Grav where I've eaten 4,000 worth of damage before with that trans. So just make sure that you hold on to that for the right moment. But dude, I think you're good. I'll send you a PM on Era. But watch that Transcendence. Make sure you don't make yourself easy to kill, and make sure you keep your divers healed. And I think you're gonna make gold or platinum pretty easily. All right, thanks, dude. Talk to you later.